Hi guys, Steady Eddie here, this time with a brief rundown of some of the costs during my recent visit to the Philippines. Well, as everyone probably knows, Philippines is a great value country for the traveller. It's great value compared to Europe and even some other Asian destinations. So, if you're going to spend a couple of weeks or a month here and visit a variety of places, how much is it likely to cost you? Now, I'm not going to claim that this is the definitive guide to the costs in the Philippines. There are so many islands, 7,000 or so, and so many costs I couldn't possibly cover everything in one video. I'm just going to give you a rough idea of the costs so if you wish to visit this country and see a variety of locations, as I did. So, before I go any further, I better tell you where I visited in the Philippines quite recently. I visited Manila, Angeles City, and Subic Bay. These three places are all in the Luzon area and are quite easy to travel between. So let's have a look at the Philippines currency first of all. At the time of my visit a few months ago, you could get about 52 pesos to $1 and about 67 to a UK pound. So basically, if you visit the Philippines, what are you likely to be spending money on? Well, if you're traveling like me, you want to have a good time, so the main expenditure is going to be hotels, food and drink, and traveling around the country. I will not be mentioning anything about the cost of ladies in this video because I've already done that in another video. Also, an important point to make when talking about costs is that everyone is different. I've often heard people ask if they would go to a certain country for a couple of weeks, how much would they spend? Impossible to answer because everyone's different. I can only give you an idea from my own spending habits. Remember, I'm a budget traveller, not bargain basement and not first class, somewhere in between. So, okay, let's get on with these costs. And the first cost is going to be your hotels. Well, the first thing I noticed, even before I went on my recent visit to the Philippines, is that the hotels I was looking at online were not as good value as I thought they were going to be. In fact, many were more expensive than Thailand and a lot more expensive than Cambodia, two of my other favourite destinations. In fact, the first hotel I stayed in Manila, I made a video of, and many people thought it was overpriced. So when I did a bit of research on various websites, the consensus was that the Philippines is not so great value for hotels, but the cost of everything else is cheap. But there was actually another reason why the hotels I was looking at seemed a bit expensive. I was researching guest-friendly hotels, and I have to say, when you look at various websites for guest-friendly hotels, they do often pick the more expensive ones. Well, of course, capital city hotels are going to be pricier than those in other locations, but they don't have to be expensive. The final hotel I stayed in the Makati area of Manila was a fine little hotel and such great value. Okay, in this quiet little neighborhood in the Makati area of Manila, this is where the Zen Hotel is. Nice friendly little neighborhood there. Plenty of life, very, very cozy, very villagey feel to it. Okay, and this is the Zen Hotel. Studio apartments. There you go. There's the man from Atlantis. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the reception. Marvel Studios, very, very nice, very, very lovely receptionist there, very helpful. They'll do anything for you. Get you to grab taxi. They'll tell you where you can get your laundry. Okay, very, very friendly, helpful staff. It's all very, very clean and well kept. You can fill up on water. Nice fresh water there. Drinkable. Everything's very, very, very well organised in this place. Very well organised. Like a lot of hotel rooms in the Philippines, it doesn't have a great deal of light. But at least this one has a window, in fact a balcony. There you go. Nice little scenes out there, nice villagey feel to everything. You can stand on this balcony here and have a beer and watch the little Filipino community go by. There's all kinds of animals here. There's chickens. I must admit, well, look at that there. That is, well, that is very, very third world, isn't it, across the road there? Very third world. And I must admit, every time I look out here, that doggy there is always chained. He's always chained to that lamppost. So, well, there we go. That's the kind of thing that you wake up to in the morning. So the full name of this hotel is the Zen Rooms Marvel Studios BGC. And I'm staying here for 3 nights. 3 nights is a total cost of £43.50. So what's that? $14.50 per night. That is about $18 US per night. Now obviously this room is small. It's a double room. But it's very, very, very well run. Extremely. Everything's immaculate. Can't really fault it for its cleanliness. It's got a sink, a kettle. Always a plus for me. You know I love my coffee. Yeah, they're very, very meticulous with the rules here, but why the hell not? They run a really good establishment, so they want to keep it that way. So just to run through what the room contains, it's got a shower, air conditioning, balcony, refrigerator, private bathroom, linen, body soap, and it's all accessible by lift. So even though it's a small room, it's very, very comfortable. I mean, what do you need a big room for? As long as you can move about and everything's immaculately clean and there's enough stuff for your suitcase and whatever. Yeah, everything works. Everything that should work works in this hotel. So I'm really, really quite impressed with it. Nice shower. Nice, comfortable. It really, really is good to stay in a hotel that's very, very clean and immaculate and all that kind of stuff. Just perfect. Oh, and by the way, the location of this is pretty good. It's a bit of a way. It's based in the Makati area of Manila, but it's a good distance from somewhere like Burger Street. But a Grab taxi will cost you about 160 pesos. Which is very, very reasonable. So, how about food and drink? Food first. Well, there are tons of great eateries all over the Philippines, and there's an awful lot of fast food. Tons of fast food places, some I've heard of, and many I haven't heard of. It seems the local Philippines love their fast food because these places always seem to be full. And they are also generally good value, and some are very good value. So what about the local food? Well, I don't eat a lot of the local food personally. I like steak dinners. Give me a steak dinner or a curry in a nice, well-run establishment, and I'm happy. Street food? Well, this is where things get really cheap for food, but street food is something I generally avoid. Now you may say I'm missing out on a lot by avoiding street food. Maybe this is the real authentic local experience. But the fact is, I heard a lot of other travellers having illnesses and stuff, which I very rarely have. And maybe this is because I don't eat too much street food. Be careful what you eat, that's all I'll say. And now to a subject which is really close to my heart. Beer. Well, if you like beer, then the two main ones you will encounter in the Philippines are San Miguel and Red Horse. The second one is the one that I prefer. It's stronger and a lot tastier. Well, beer is generally good value in the Philippines, and at a regular bar it costs about 70 pesos. In somewhere like Walking Street, Angeles, a bottle of San Miguel is usually about 100 pesos. Some dancing girl bars are going to cost a bit more, about 120 pesos, which is still really quite cheap. Wine is reasonable. Reasonable price, reasonable quality.
Okay, and we're going to have my first ever journey in one of these things. Okay, there you go, buddy. Okay, cool. I'm going to have my first journey in one of these. Oh my bloody god. Still not sure what these cars is. They're a pedicab, a cyclo. Still not quite sure what they're called. Oh my god, I'm sitting on the street here. Isn't this fun? Okay, so after that minor bit of confusion there, I'm on board the bus that's going to take me to Dow Station, which is close to Angeles City. I still haven't actually paid for the ticket here. I've heard that it's 160 pesos. I assume that I was going to have to pay on the bus, but this young chap, he's just come up and he's given me a ticket. He's given everyone else a ticket as well, but he hasn't accepted any money from me, so I still don't know what the script is. Do I show the ticket at the other end and pay there? I don't know just yet. It's a little bit confusing, this. But anyway, at least I'm on the bus. Okay, so where he goes, he looks like he's taking the money now. I hope so, because I don't like the idea of being on a bus without actually having paid for it. Okay, I've just paid the chappie for my ticket. 163 pesos from Manila to Angeles, well, to Dow Station anyway, which is close enough to Angeles. 163 pesos, I think that is something like, is it about £2.40 or something like that in English money? For a couple of hours journey, that sounds very, very reasonable to me.
Okay, so we talked about hotels, food and drink, but what about travelling around the Philippines? You may plan to stay in the one place during your visit, or you may choose to see a variety of towns, islands, or beach resorts. Well, let me begin by going over where I stayed on my recent visit. I started my journey in Manila, then went to Angeles City, then Subic Bay, back to Angeles, and finally back to Manila. So my journey was both inexpensive and easy. You see, all of these places are located in the Luzon area and are easily accessible by road. Manila to Angeles about 2.5 hours, Angeles to Subic about 1.5 hours. A taxi or tricycle to the bus station is reasonably priced. A tricycle is usually about 150 pesos, something like that. Taxis can be a bit more expensive. Or you can get a minibus from Subic to Angeles for about the same price as the overall journey. But what if you want to explore the islands? Yes, those lovely islands of Palawan, El Nido, Boracay. Now, this is where travel gets a lot more expensive. You see, and I discovered this on my first visit to the Philippines about 15 years ago, this country is not always easy to travel around. You are dealing with islands rather than roads, and that means boats or planes. Well, I'm not going to attempt to tell you how much my island hopping adventure cost me 15 years ago, because that was a long time ago, so the prices wouldn't be relevant today. Just remember, if you want to go island hopping, then it's going to cost you a lot more money. The flights are not always that cheap, and of course, you're always going to have to pay extras for your luggage and whatever, taxis to and from the airport. My journey in the Philippines this time around was very, very good value. An island hopping adventure would cost a lot more money. Well, I hope this video has been useful to you. Obviously, there's a lot of things involving cost that I haven't included in this video. I haven't included the cost of adventure travel, hang gliding, bungee jumping, that sort of thing. That's because I don't do those things. But if you want a general idea of how much food, drink and hotels is going to cost you, then I hope this video has given you a good idea. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if it's been useful to you. And cheers.